Hey there friends, what is going on? It's Codiak here, back for another Assassin's Creed Valhalla survival guide, and today we are taking a look at the Beast of the Hills. This is one of the legendary animal bosses that you can fight in the game. This one is actually in Shropshire, and honestly, I kind of stumbled into this one. I wasn't looking for this encounter, but we did it. I want to break it all down. It is an incredibly fun fight. I love these legendary boss fights. I just think they're a great way to inject something different into the game, other than the main story, other than the side content. It's just fun to get a nice boss fight in here. And as the name suggests, Beast of the Hills is actually a massive drunken bear. And as a Codiak myself, I love bears. I just love bear boss fights. I think they're perfect for a game like this. So without further ado, let's dive in and let's take a look at the fight itself. Now, just so you guys know, this is a pretty simple fight, although it is unforgiving. He hits hard no matter what level you're at. This is around a level 130 to 150 area. I did it when I was over 200, and it took me a minute. It just took me a minute to get through. It's a bear. He has a lot of health. That's just kind of what you expect from this fight. Now, the first thing you're going to notice here is he has 3 stamina chunks above his health bar. 2 of those weak points are on his hind legs. They are small, they are hard to hit, but if you use Focus of the Nornir, they're relatively easy to chunk off. Now, the last one is actually on his chest underneath him. Luckily, he does a lot of abilities where he goes up on his hind legs, but that doesn't mean it's easy to get. In fact, it's one of the hardest weak points I think I've ever had to try and hit, and it takes me quite a bit of time. I get knocked around a lot during this fight just trying to hit that weak point, just for that extra stun attack. And in the end, you don't really need the stun attack. You can do fine without the stun attack. I like trying to do it as a personal challenge to myself. As you can see there, he does this massive charge rune attack that you cannot parry, and he does rear up, but it doesn't give you a lot of time to react. And I think I just get lucky eventually with my shot. I do hit it here eventually. I'm just not exactly sure where in the fight I hit it. So other than that, I'm waiting for that weak point and I'm just chipping away at the boss. Now, I'm not using the best ability loadout for this. I think you could have done a lot more with either the fire abilities or the poison abilities, something that constantly chips away at his health. So if you have those abilities unlocked, I would highly recommend using them. I rely a lot on the Viking harpoon, and it just isn't that effective in a fight like this. There's that hit on his chest. As you can see, he rears back. I hit him. I get a little bit of damage on him. I'm excited about it because it really is a hard weak point to hit. It's a cool sequence here, doing a lot of damage to him. But the really tricky thing about this fight is, look, he's actually restoring health. And that pretty much just restored all of the damage I just did to him. So that's a key point of this fight, making sure that you recognize when he's restoring health and smacking him. Don't shoot him with your bow, run up and smack him. That's going to stop the regeneration of his health. That is so key because, as you can see, he doesn't take a lot of damage. Again, I'm over-leveled for this. My gear is relatively upgraded. I'm using a decent armor set. I've got decent weapons, and things are just taking a long time, and that's just the way this fight goes. I actually come very close to dying during this fight, which is a huge problem because I just wasn't landing any of my parries, and I just wasn't dodging very well, but he's a beefy target. There's no two ways about it. So like I was saying, I would highly recommend something with poison or fire damage. If you have those abilities unlocked, fantastic. If not, look up a guide, figure out how you can unlock either the poison abilities or the fire abilities, because you need that dot damage on him to keep him burning. I think that's really the key here. Keep him losing health. Him or her. I don't know if it's a male or a female. It doesn't matter. But you basically want to keep chipping away at him because of that large health pool. Now, in terms of his moves, you guys can see on the screen, I don't need to break every single one down. It's very much what you would expect from a bear. There's swipes. There's charges. I love the aspect of the fight that he's kind of like a drunken bear. He's in this like room filled with casks of beer or mead or whatever, and he kind of fights like that. There's a wildness to the way that he moves that really makes this fight feel different than every other standard bear fight that we've had in any other game that you've played where you had to fight a massive bear. So it is a really challenging fight in that sense that he's got that large health pool. He's got an interesting moveset that's a little bit wild. As you can see here, I'm starting to lose that health. That charge is just brutal. And you would think a charge would be easy to avoid, but there's enough variety in his different attacks that it actually makes it a bit more challenging. Now, if I was to do this fight over again, if I was to restart and, you know, I did manage to kill it, I think on the second attempt, or maybe it was even the first attempt, I can't remember. I would probably go with something a bit heavier because his attacks aren't super quick. He moves quick, but his attacks aren't quick. So I would opt for higher damage, especially if I could light him on fire or poison him or something like that. I think the higher damage from a slower weapon plus the poison or fire would actually be the optimal way to go with this fight. Now, of course, you can't forget about the focus of Nornir when dealing with those weak points. You actually have to use that if you want to hit those weak points in the back. I just think it's so much more beneficial. It just saves you a lot of frustration trying to hit those. If you want to use a light bow, you can kind of just machine gun fire at his legs and hope to hit it. But I think Focus of Nornir is probably the best in terms of hitting those weak points. Sometimes those weak points will disappear when you use Focus of Nornir, so just know they're on the back, hind legs, and under his chest. Other than that, the fight is really straightforward. It's just about doing as much damage as humanly possible. It will take you a second, so make sure that you're conserving your stamina, only dodging when you have to, because if you get caught without any stamina and he uses one of his rune attacks, you will take a sizable amount of damage. And like I said, I am well over geared for this fight and over leveled. So make sure that if you're doing this at level, you are being very conservative with your stamina, because that's going to be your lifeline for getting out of these really punishing attacks. I'll leave you guys with the rest of the fight here. It's almost over. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Of course, if you like these videos, like and subscribe to Legacy Gaming. We've got a lot more content coming for you guys at the end of 2020 and into 2021. We'd love to have your support. And as always, my name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.